Hello everybody, I've decided to do an investigation today into this supposed tank meta, and we're gonna decide once and for all, is it real? Is it fake? Is it something being made up by a lot of people to get tanks nerfed out of the meta once again for another season in a row? Well, if these are things that interest you, let's go find out. Using a form of advanced science that I call basic investigation, I was able to determine that as compared to the previous Sunfire from last season, this current mythic, Jack Show, is literally Sunfire Aegis, but with less damage and more defense. Obviously, people have been clamoring for years saying, I wish tanks were tankier and did less damage, and that's what they did. Unfortunately, for the League of Legends audience, doing what they wanted was a terrible decision, apparently. However, upon further investigation on the League of Memes subreddit and the League of Legends subreddit as well as Twitter, I found non-stop memes about how overpowered the tank meta was, how champions like Ornn and items like Heartsteel were completely dominant in this meta. So I decided to investigate how dominant are these items, how dominant are these champions. So what is Heartsteel anyway? Heartsteel is an item that gives you nothing but health, because health is the best stat in the game, and once you have health, all you want is more health. Armor, magic resist, increasing your effective HP, knowing how tank stats actually work in the game, you don't want any of that. All you want is more health. It has amazing build components. Kindle Gem, which has not been power creeped at all. Crystalline Bracer, a totally top tier item which also didn't get nerfed. And Giant's Belt, one of the strongest first items in the game. Everyone knows that during the laning phase, the best way to defend yourself is nothing but pure health. You don't want armor, you don't want magic resist, you don't want to counter build your lane opponent, you just want health. And this item, coming out at 3,200 gold, is very effective because tanks are very dominant in the laning phase and do not in any way have to hide under turret and wait to teamfight, because tanks are always beating the shit out of their opponents early game and dominating the laning phase. Your grand reward for very easily completing this item is you get every 30 seconds, whenever you hit your opponent, 12.5 plus 0.6% of your current health in maximum health. I should say current total health. It doesn't scale up. If you increase your health, these stacks don't increase with you. You just get that flat amount. So with about 29 to 30 health once you complete it every 30 seconds, if your opponent lets you hit them, and if they don't kill you back, and if you actually complete this item on time, it has been dominating the meta. How dominant, in fact? Well, I went ahead and I went to League of Legends, I went to League of Graphs, and I decided, where is Heartsteel? Surely this item that is terribly dominant and so popular is up here with the likes of Ravenous, Hydra, Blight of the Ruined King, Zanya's Hourglass, Kraken Slayer, Death's Dance. Of course, this item is dominating the meta with a 49% win rate. The lowest win rate of any item near this popularity. That's right, this item is a 9% lower win rate than Infinity Edge because it's dominating the meta. Of course it is. I do want to sympathize with the AD carry players out there in the world. Their build, Kraken Slayer, Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, is merely the most popular 3-item build in the game with a 59% win rate, only being beaten out right now by Divine Sunder, Ravenous Hydra, Death's Dance. Obviously, AD carry players are not even playable right now. No one's even trying to build their core items because they're so weak or something. And we can see right here that all the most popular builds, all the most dominant builds in the game right now, they're all tank builds. We can see one of these has to be a tank build, I'm sure, because tanks are so popular and dominating the meta. They just has to be tank builds everywhere. Everyone's playing a tank. No! I'm going to start with Cho'Gath, one of the greatest Heartsteel abusers. This champion is one of the most dominant champions in this meta, getting non-stop hate for having infinite HP and tanking everyone indefinitely. With a supremely dominant 50% win rate and a supremely dominant 1.2% pick rate, you can't go anywhere without fighting Cho'Gath once a week tops. But actually, I'm lying to you to make this even funnier. Actually, this is his win rate on last season. This season, his win rate is, let's zoom in on that one, 46%. Yes, that's right. Cho'Gath, as of this season, has a 46% win rate. But let's go and check out his items. These new tank items are supremely dominant. Last season, he had a mere 51% win rate on Frostfire Gauntlet and Sunfire Aegis. This season, with these new, way overpowered tank items, his win rate has achieved 46% on Heartsteel and Jack Show, proving once and for all, the new items are obviously way stronger than the old Sunfire Aegis, and actually, Cho'Gath is also dominating the meta by basically being a troll pick that actually loses the game for your team. Okay, it was a bit unfair, I'll admit, to use Cho'Gath. Let's use the strongest tank in the game, Ornn. Ornn, once again, is dominating the meta with a premier 51% win rate. And you have to remember, a tank with a high win rate is doing really good. Unfortunately, I have gotten you with the same trick again. Despite last season having a 51% win rate, this season his pick rate has dropped and his win rate has also dropped by 2%. That's right, the strongest tank in the game is also losing 2% win rate with these new mega buff tank items. But I want to look at these with a really low, useless 51% win rate on Sunfire Aegis and 52% win rate on Frostfire. He was not doing good with the old items. The new turbo buff tank items are where it's at. In particular, Heartsteel. That's right, with a massive 49% win rate on Heartsteel. Ornn is dominating the meta with this pick because everyone knows when you have a late game champion, what you want to do is have a really weak laning phase and then build even more for the late game, because then you double on the late game, and then when you lose early game, you can go next game, and then in the next game you can get the late. Now I know it's unfair just to look at win rates. Obviously, with tanks dominating the meta so hard, we should look at pick rates. The tanks have completely taken over the top 10 pick champions. Even now, we can see in the top 10, we have 1, 2 tanks in top lane, 20% of top lane. That's insane. That's so many being played as tanks. They're utterly dominant, and you look at these win rates and they're doing so good. When we look in the jungle as well, we can see all the tanks being played now also in the jungle. We have Udyr at number 10, and well, in the mid lane, we can see a lot of tanks. Well, surely in the bot lane, we see so many. In support, we can see we got Nautilus and Blitzcrank and, well, I mean, is Thresh a tank? I mean, throughout all of this, nearly 7% of the picks have been tanks. I mean, that's crazy or something. Once again, though, I am being a little bit unfair. I won't trick you. This is Jin's stats for last season, okay? And Jin has been hit really hard by this tank meta. Without his ability to do sustained damage, he just can't function in this meta. A lot of Jin mains have noted that they aren't pickable, they aren't playable, they don't have the damage to compete anymore into this tank meta. So when we look at his current patch, his current season win rate, it's gone down from 51.31% win rate to 51.28% win rate. The 0.03% win rate decrease has shown irrefutably that he is an unplayable trash champion. No one can bust this champion out. Look at this, 51.31 to 51.28. How can anyone even play Jin anymore? He has been persecuted and attacked by this tank meta, and all the Jin players are totally correct. They'd have to whine non-stop about their champion unplayable. A point of contention that some people have is that maybe even if tanks aren't doing that well, it's bruisers, bruisers using tank items are dominating the meta. That's a problem, guys. We're still headed to tank meta, it's just bruisers using those tank items. Look no further than Set. As we can see with Set, with a mere small bad 51% win rate on Blight of the Rune King and Stridebreaker, his two actually good items, we can see Heartsteel with a massive 49.02% win rate. That's right, Set with Heartsteel is dominating this meta and doing so well. Not at all does he actually have a lower win rate than he should, and actually he's doing better with non-Heartsteel items. No, Heartsteel is doing extremely well. In fact, Blight of the Rune King or Stridebreaker rush into Heartsteel also show that Heartsteel, with a 54% win rate, has a higher win rate than the 55 or 56% win rate of Titanic or Stridebreaker. That's just math. As an AD carry player, I don't know how numbers work. I just assume that if I hate something enough, it must be overpowered, because otherwise, why would I hate it so much? To prove my point, here's Darius with Heartsteel at a massive 49% win rate. Mordekaiser Heartsteel with a superb 48% win rate. Nasus Heartsteel with an outstanding 47% win rate. Garen Heartsteel with a ludicrous 47% win rate. Urgot Heartsteel with an exquisite 49% win rate, which would seem almost playable until you realize that's 2% lower than his other possible items to rush. So, with all this proof against me, with basically absolutely nothing actually assisting my belief that the tank meta is real, can I still say that the tank meta is real? Yes, because as an ADC player, I just don't like tanks. When they do too much damage, I don't like them because I die. When they tank too much, I don't like them because then they don't die. When they exist, I don't like them because I just don't like tanks. Why can't everyone just play stupid shitty champions that stand in front of me and die? I feel the tank meta is real, and therefore it is real, and no one can convince me otherwise. AD carries are useless in Season 13, just like they were in Season 12, just like they were in Season 11, just like they were in Season 10, just like they were in Season 9, just like they were in Season 8, just like they were in Season 7, just like they were in Season 6, just like they were in Season 5, just like they were in Season 4, just like they were in Season 3, just like they were in Season 2, just like they were in Season 1. This time, guys, we're telling the truth. Please, trust us. AD carries really are dead this season.